Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
Really
I
well.
did it.
You
I
did it.
fought the tech and I
Victory.
won.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. We got our daughter out the door. Actually, Daddy did the school walk, but she has to leave 15
Yeah.
minutes earlier because they're phasing, the
Yeah, yeah.
entries to the school. But we
Got
just
it.
keep her moving.
What's
Shoes,
what what's
brush teeth.
what's the weather? I love it. Yeah, you're a lady on a mission at the moment. I can see that for certain. But what's the weather doing like in Glasgow right now? I'm in London and it's grey and the sun keeps disappearing, which is annoying.
Oh no. We're actually lucky this week. We've got sun. I mean, last week
Nice.
it was nonstop rain, or the little fake out, the sunny morning, and then
Got it.
downpour the rest of the day.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So it was good stuff.
Good stuff. Right, you and I are on a little bit of a mission. We're going to chat about what you do because I think you're awesome. It's only recently that I found out about what you actually do. And so I apologize as a friend. I should have asked you these questions before, but I'm thrilled that you and I can have these conversations now. So come on, Suzanne, you introduce yourself more officially because we want to get this spot on because I think it's really important, the work that you do. And I'm so delighted that you're and honored that you would like to discuss this with me. So please go ahead. Tell us what you do.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, it's great to be here talking to you. I am a speech language pathologist, which is more commonly known as a speech therapist, especially here in the UK. And I think most people have heard of a speech therapist at some point in their lives. My specialty is that I help people with voice and communication. Someone whose inner identity is not aligning with their outer identity. And that could be because of illness. So post-stroke, people aren't able to speak as clearly. It could be because of professional goals and they want to be able to speak and communicate more clearly. But over the next few weeks, in these lives, I'm going to be focusing on transgender voice therapy, which is actually the professional term has been changed to gender affirming voice and communication therapy. And that's just an effort to be more positive and affirming when people are making this transition.
Got it. Okay. So in terms of people you work with, quite diverse, I'm guessing, from every age, every background. Do you want to tell us more about the people you work with, please?
It is possible. I don't Most people think of speech therapists as working with kids, like a 5-year-old that has a lisp or a stammer. But actually, although I was trained to work with children, I mean, it's a required pediatric training, when you go to school. But my specialty is working with adults. And in the US, I worked in care homes and I worked with older people that were, coming out of the hospital after having a stroke, and they had communication issues. They could have voice issues from being intubated. They could have dementia, and they could have swallowing issues, And so that was really good training because it makes you just think so hard every day. What is happening with this person? How are things happening neurologically and mechanically to create the problem?
So so I guess it's a lot to do with the physics, the actual physicality of people having issues with speech, and just being able to be heard, I guess. I mean, it's quite a deep subject, really, in terms of, you think, oh, it's just learning how to speak, but it's a hell of a lot more than that. So what prompted you? Where did it all come from? Why did you decide to do this kind of therapy?
Well, I've always loved singing. I mean, actually, I was recording my voice on cassette tapes when I was 5 because I wanted to play it back and see what it sounded like. But
I love that. I think we
I
all
know.
did, didn't we? We all had hairbrushes and we all stood there going la 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 la.
Is that like a developmental thing for everyone? I don't know. I was always like, I feel kind of weird recording myself like this, but then when I was 16, I started taking voice lessons, and I went on to win a scholarship. And I went to college, I studied music, I have a voice degree, I was classically trained. I didn't really feel the call to be an opera singer at that point. I had a little rebellious folk singer, guitar playing phase, and I was teaching voice lessons above a coffee shop. It was a very popular coffee shop in Vienna, Virginia. It had a performance venue. They got lots of great bands going through there. They had a music school above that was mostly guitar students, you know, all the kids, the boys with their guitars coming in and out. But I started doing a few lessons part-time, and I found that it was just really interesting. And I loved connecting with people and talking to them about how to use their voice better. Because people don't really know, they don't really understand how things work together. It's a lot of breath work, you know, respiratory support and understanding how that works. And I also felt like, you know, there's some bits and pieces of knowledge that I don't actually have. You know, I didn't get a lot of anatomy classes as a voice major. You took all these heavy, you know, classical music, literature, history classes. So I decided to go back to school, and I found a great program in Washington, D.C. that had a very special voice clinical track in it. And this track, not only is it unusual to have a voice track, because a lot of speech therapists are not trained in graduate school to do voice therapy, but they specifically had training with transgender clients. It was all male to female. I think we did not have, we didn't have any female to male or non-binary. But it was amazing training. I loved it. I loved the fact that I'd been driving the car, and now suddenly I was under the hood, you know, and then I knew, oh my gosh, and that excitement just has never ended for me.
Really?
I just love thinking about it.
I guess it's one of those things, isn't it? When you find your passion, you do it. And I'm just thrilled to see. I'm not sure if she's still here, but Satori, she's my I guess she's my uncle's daughter. So we're related, we're cousins, and she's joining us from Mumbai. And she is a psychotherapist, and she recently, well, she qualified in the last few years, and her Instagram is amazing. She's called The Little Purple Window. So please do give her a follow, Suzanne. She's great too. And
oh, I will. Do I tap this and I wave at her? Is that what I do?
Give it a go. Why not? This is what we're doing. We're learning. Hello. But yeah, she is just phenomenal in terms of what she does too in supporting people. And I just love how universes do that, because obviously there's a reason she's here to join us to learn from you. I think with regard to what you do, I get your work must be really intense, working with people who are, you know, now that you've told me your full title, a gender affirming voice and communication therapist. That's deep, quite heavy. So how is that? What is that like? What do you do?
It is intense. I mean, I found that this is a group of people that are just really tender. They've been through a lot. You know, they may have been struggling with wanting to transition their whole lives, and they've been trying to pretend to be somebody that doesn't feel authentic to them. I think that makes them just really tender and compassionate. And it goes without saying they have a lot of courage to make these changes, because it's not easy.
No.
It's a very challenging situation.
No, I get that. And I think more than anything else, there's so much prejudice, is there not, with regards to how people, you know, we're safe in our own identity. But what if you're not happy with your identity? I think it's you know, there's so many layers to this. It's not just, oh, put on a voice, put on clothes, put on something. There's huge things that, you know, I'm not trained and specialized enough to be able to articulate it properly. So, you know, your help to educate me here, I value hugely, because, you know, it's taboo. Things are taboo, aren't they? Until we start talking about them. And I'm thrilled that you're helping me to educate me to break down that taboo, and I'm grateful to you. I just wondered,
Definitely.
with regards to the kind of people you help specifically, are there any sort of age ranges or anything else with regard to, you know, people you could help and how they can get in touch with you, so we can work out, you know, the best way for people to get in touch?
Well, generally I work with adults, so I think my youngest client has been around 20, 21. My oldest client in her 70s.
Okay.
And I think there is more acceptance of this at this point in the Western world, because it used to be the typical age of a transgender voice client would be late 40s, 50s, someone that had been married to a woman, had children. And, you know, maybe if we can increase acceptance and people will start making the shift earlier and it's not so disruptive. I think the stats are like 50 to 60% of people that are transitioning lose friends and family member contact. So because people are so shocked and they don't know how to be supportive.
Yeah.
And then that creates a really vulnerable population, a population vulnerable to suicide. So I think, you know, lives really are at stake. I would have, if I could have a takeaway, I would say, just be kind. You know, it should go without saying that we're kind to people that we meet or people in our families. But, you know, if you have someone who's a friend or family member who says they want to go through this transition, you don't have to understand everything about it. You just have to be a support to them and be kind and be their friend.
Yeah.
And let them know that they're important to you no matter what.
Yeah, love should be unconditional, shouldn't it? You love your. I remember when in my personal life, I was going through a tricky time, and I sought help from a child psychotherapist, and basically one of the things that they said was the love you have should be unconditional. It changes between certain people, but you know, it shouldn't matter who they are. The person hasn't changed. It's more about your perception of the person. So it's how you relate to them. You can still love that person even if you have differences. And it's tricky. I think, you know, especially in a pandemic right now, it's harder because you can't see each other because of masks and things. So I guess when you're speaking, to be able to come across more articulately, it's harder now. It's even more pressure. So it's a good and a bad thing having a mask. Maybe. I don't know.
It is. Well, you know, I have a client says she goes to the shop and she's wearing her mask, and she's dressed, you know, as a woman. She has makeup, hair done. I always think she looks really sharp when I see her.
Yeah.
But her anxiety is, you know, when she opens her mouth, are people going to be polite to her? And she always makes a note, that's a win, you know. I have her keep a little daily journal, and she says, that's a win because I went and I felt good about it.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is, you know, and when we're out in public, we might find that, you know, there is someone that we're like, that doesn't seem to match up in a typical way. I mean, of course, what's really typical? What's really a typical voice or appearance for someone? I mean, we could talk for like a month about those kinds of gender stereotypes, right? Like, we're not going there, but you just be kind. You just respond, look them in the eye, give them that response, that dignity.
Just be human to one another. We're all humans. I think that's it, isn't it? How do we get in touch with you, Suzanne? I'm conscious of time, and I'm conscious that we've just got Paul Merrick, who's one of my colleagues from back in the day when I was in sports TV. So hi, Paul. So nice that you joined us too. And Satori, I'm thrilled that you're here as well. It's so nice of you to come on to watch and listen. My friend Suzanne is a gender affirming voice and communication therapist, and she's educating me. And in the next few weeks, we're going to keep talking. Hi, Paul. We're going to talk about this subject and how you as an incredible therapist can help more people. And we want to get people to follow, comment, and please also go to your website. Suzanne, what's your website, please?
My website is accentsplusspeechtherapy.com. There is a hyphen between Accents Plus and speech therapy. If you go to the bio on my Instagram page, you'll see a link to my blog. That'll take you right to my website. You can read some things that I've written, and you'll find some other resources that I've posted for these kinds of therapies.
Brilliant. And you offer some free consultations as well, in terms of people who really want to explore this further and they might be uncertain as to whether you're the right fit. So you give people an opportunity to engage with you, because it's a big deal, isn't it? This is a big deal.
It is. You want to be sure you're ready for it. So absolutely, send me a DM, direct message.
Perfect.
And I will get back to you, help you all I can. We can do a phone consult, which of course is free. Yeah. And I just talk about what my process is and what you'd be doing. And we'll be talking more about that in some other lives too.
Fantastic. So this time next week, I think, Wednesday,
next week.
We'll aim for that?
Yes, absolutely. As my dad used to say, same bat time. Same bat channel.
Whatever made him happy, I guess.
I know that's like an old 1950s Batman TV reference. So sorry.
Okay. I'm still a little bit too young for 1950s. Just putting it out there.
My dad, I probably get a lot of my love for learning from my dad, because he would say stuff like, make sure you put the emphasis on the right syllable, Yeah, he was full of stuff like that. So it was good fun.
Very cool. I love that. That's brilliant. Especially for me, who grew up, I was British Indian. I was born in Scotland, and the reason we left Scotland was because my poor mum was struggling to understand the locals, so we had to move south as fast as possible before I could speak. So my mum said, so I can understand my child. And
I don't blame her. I mean, we're solving that by just having Margaret watch a lot of American TV, so that's our...
Well, she's super bright, and I just think, we're going to carry on these sort of conversations, but she's so smart, clever, and bright. I'm sure she's going to have different accents to switch on as and when, and I love that because she's just on it. But I'm conscious of time, and we don't want to go through all of the exciting things we want to discuss straight away. So it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. We'll see you all next week, hopefully.
Brilliant.
All right. Namaste.
Sorry. Charlotte English has just joined us. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. We're just about to. But please watch back if you can, and like, share, comment, and go and check out Suzanne's bio. That would be great. Good morning, Charlotte. Nice to see you joining us. Have a great day, and happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody, especially Charlotte, I think, as well.
All right, we'll chat later. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.